Our world, this vibrant blue marble suspended in the vastness of space, is defined by water. It carves canyons, nurtures forests, and fills our oceans. For most of us, rain is a familiar, life-giving phenomenon, a gentle shower or a dramatic storm. But what if I told you there are corners of our planet where the sky remains stubbornly silent, where the very concept of rain is a foreign myth? Places so profoundly arid that a single drop of water would be an event of geological significance. These are not merely deserts as we commonly understand them. They are Earth's ultimate expressions of dryness. These hyper-arid landscapes are sculpted not by water but by wind, sun, and time. Here, life, if it exists at all, clings to existence in ways that defy our understanding, drawing moisture from coastal fogs or from deep within the earth. In some of these locations, human-made weather stations have stood for decades, their instruments waiting for a measurement that has never come. The air is so bereft of moisture, the atmospheric conditions so stable, that clouds simply cannot form, let alone release their precious cargo. These are the planet's rainless realms, true anomalies in our water-rich world. Join me as we embark on a journey to these extraordinary frontiers of aridity. We will explore the forces that conspire to keep the heavens clear and the ground parched. We will witness the stark alien beauty of landscapes untouched by rainfall for centuries, or perhaps even millennia. This is an exploration of Earth's driest mysteries, a testament to the incredible diversity and extremity of the climates our planet can produce. Let us travel to the 15 places that have, for all intents and purposes, never seen rain. Our journey begins in South America, in the long, narrow country of Chile. Here, nestled between the Andes Mountains and the Pacific Ocean, lies a place that redefines our understanding of dryness, the Atacama Desert. It is a landscape of profound silence and stark beauty, a rolling expanse of rock, salt and sand stretching for over 1,000 kilometers. This is the driest non-polar desert on Earth, and in its core, some weather stations have been dutifully recording data for over a century, yet have never once registered a single drop of rain. The very air seems ancient and still. The reasons for this extreme aridity are a perfect storm of geographical circumstance. To the east, the mighty Andes create a formidable rain shadow, blocking any moisture-laden air from the Amazon basin. To the west, the cold Humboldt Current running up the Pacific coast cools the air above it, creating a thermal inversion layer that prevents the formation of rain clouds. The result is a region locked in a state of perpetual drought, where the ground is so sterile and ancient that scientists from NASA come here to test rovers destined for Mars. From the scorched sands of the Atacama, we travel to the coldest, windiest, and highest continent on Earth, Antarctica. One might imagine this land of ice to be the antithesis of a desert, but here in a region known as the McMurdo Dry Valleys, we find one of the most extreme deserts on the planet. These valleys are a startling anomaly, a vast, ice-free expanse in a continent buried under kilometers of frozen water. The ground is a barren pavement of gravel, and the silence is broken only by the relentless wind. It is a place so alien it feels like another world entirely. Precipitation, even in the form of snow, is almost non-existent here. The towering transantarctic mountains stand guard, preventing the flow of ice from the East Antarctic ice sheet from reaching the valleys. More importantly, powerful katabatic winds, where cold, dense air is pulled downhill by gravity, can reach speeds of over 300 kilometers per hour. These winds heat up as they descend, evaporating any moisture in the air and on the ground, effectively scouring the valleys clean of snow and ice, and creating a climate too dry for anything to fall from the sky. Our quest for dryness now takes us to Iran, to a place of formidable heat and desolation known as the Lut Desert, or Dasht-e-Lut. This is a land of extremes. Satellite measurements have recorded surface temperatures here reaching over 70 degrees Celsius, the hottest land surface temperature ever officially recorded on our planet. It is a place so inhospitable that even bacteria struggle to survive. The landscape is a dramatic tapestry of massive sand dunes, salt flats, and colossal wind-sculpted rock formations known as calottes. The Lut Desert sits within a basin surrounded by mountains on all sides. This topography traps hot air and blocks any rain-bearing clouds from reaching the interior. The intense solar radiation, combined with the dark, heat-absorbing surface, creates a furnace-like environment where rainfall is not just rare, but virtually impossible. Any wisp of moisture that might drift into the basin is instantly vanquished by the searing heat. It is a sun-blasted wasteland, a silent testament to the raw power of solar energy on a planetary scale. The Sahara. The very name, it just evokes images of endless sand and relentless sun. It's the largest hot desert in the world, spanning almost the entire width of North Africa, an area that's actually comparable in size to the United States. While its fringes might receive some seasonal rains, the vast interior contains regions that are honestly among the most consistently dry places on the planet. In the heart of the Libyan desert, or deep within the Tenere region of Niger, years, even decades can pass without a single cloudburst. It's an immense hyper-arid core where life-giving water is really just a distant memory. This profound dryness is orchestrated by large-scale atmospheric patterns. A belt of persistent high pressure, known as the subtropical ridge, hovers over this region, causing air to sink and warm, which totally inhibits cloud formation. Prevailing winds sweep across thousands of kilometers of continental landmass, losing any moisture they once held long before reaching the Sahara's heart. In these core areas, the average annual rainfall can be less than a single millimeter, and in some years, it is simply zero. It is a true ocean of sand ruled by the sun and the wind. We return to Africa's western coast, to a landscape that seems, well, born of a dream. This is the Namib Desert, believed to be the oldest desert in the world, having endured arid or semi-arid conditions for at least 55 million years. Its most striking features are its colossal sand dunes, some of the highest on Earth, their iron-rich sands glowing a deep fiery red in the morning and evening light. These dunes march relentlessly towards the Atlantic Ocean, creating one of the planet's most dramatic and surreal coastlines, where a sea of sand meets a sea of water. Like the Atacama, the Namib's aridity is a product of the cold Benguela current offshore, which chills the air and creates a persistent fog bank. This fog is the lifeblood of the desert, providing just enough moisture for a unique array of specially adapted creatures and plants. However, this same atmospheric stability, prevents the formation of rain clouds. So while the air may feel damp, actual rainfall is an exceptionally rare event, especially in the central Namib Sand Sea, a place where the dunes have been shaped by wind, not water, for millennia. Perched on the northernmost edge of the Atacama Desert is the Chilean port city of Arica. It's known as the City of Eternal Spring for its mild, stable temperatures year-round. But this pleasant climate hides an astonishing meteorological fact. Arica holds the world record for the longest absolute dry streak in recorded history. Between October 1903 and January 1918, a period of over 14 years, not a single drop of measurable rain fell on the city. It's a living, breathing community, existing in a place where rain is almost entirely absent. The very same forces that make the Atacama so dry are at play here, but in an even more pronounced fashion. The city is wedged tightly between the Pacific and the towering Andes, and sits directly under a semi-permanent high-pressure cell. This combination creates an incredibly stable atmosphere that acts as an impenetrable shield against rain. While coastal fog, the Camanchaca, can roll in and provide some humidity, the conditions required for precipitation are almost never met. For the people of Arica, a cloudy day is a novelty. A rainy day is the stuff of legend. We travel now to the northern edge of Sudan, to the town of Wadi Halfa, situated on the shores of Lake Nasser. This region lies deep within the Nubian desert, an eastern extension of the Greater Sahara. Life here has always clung precariously to the banks of the River Nile, a thin ribbon of green slicing through an otherwise barren and hostile landscape. Away from the river, the environment is one of the driest and most sun-scorched on the planet. The sky is almost perpetually clear, a piercing, brilliant blue from horizon to horizon. Wadi Halfa experiences an average annual rainfall of less than 1 millimeter. In most years the total is 0. It is a place where rain is so infrequent that many residents will live their entire lives without ever experiencing a significant downpour. The climate is dominated by the same continental high-pressure systems that govern the Sahara, ensuring that sinking dry air is the norm. The intense heat and low humidity mean any potential for cloud formation is swiftly extinguished, leaving Wadi Halfa under the unrelenting gaze of the sun. Just north of the Atacama, the hyper-arid coastal desert continues into southern Peru. Here we find the Ica Desert, a region that shares many of the same climatic characteristics as its Chilean neighbor. It is a land of sweeping sand dunes and ancient history, where the dry conditions have remarkably preserved the relics of past civilizations, such as the famous Nazca lines. The city of Ica itself is a surprising oasis, a center of agriculture made possible only by drawing water from the Ica River, which flows down from the distant Andes. The combination of the Andean rain shadow and the cold Humboldt current creates a powerful drying effect, limiting annual rainfall in the city of Ica to just a few millimeters and even less in the surrounding desert. For long periods, often years at a time, no rain falls at all. This extreme aridity has created a unique environment where ancient geoglyphs, textiles, and even human remains have been preserved for thousands of years, sheltered from the decaying effects of moisture by the rainless sky. We journey now to the Arabian Peninsula, to a place whose name translates to the empty quarter. The Rub al-Khali is the largest contiguous sand desert in the world, a vast and forbidding sea of dunes stretching across Saudi Arabia, Oman, Yemen, and the United Arab Emirates. It is one of the most desolate and unexplored places on Earth. The sheer scale of it is difficult to comprehend. An area larger than France, covered in towering dunes that can rise to over 250 meters high. This is a hyper-arid region where rain is exceedingly rare and unpredictable. The climate is dominated by high pressure and continental winds that have traveled vast distances over land, shedding any moisture along the way. For much of the year, the sky is a brassy, cloudless dome. When rain does fall, it is often in the form of violent but highly localized thunderstorms that can occur years apart in any given location. For all practical purposes, the heart of the empty quarter is a realm without rain, an immense void of sand and silence. In the heart of the Mojave Desert, in eastern California, lies a place with a notoriously grim name, Death Valley. It is a long, narrow basin, sinking to 86 meters below sea level, the lowest point in North America. This unique topography makes it a land of extremes, renowned for holding the record for the highest air temperature ever reliably recorded on Earth, a staggering 56.7 degrees Celsius. It is a stark and strangely beautiful landscape of salt flats, canyons, and sand dunes. Death Valley is a textbook example of a rain-shadowed desert. It is surrounded by 4 major mountain ranges, including the tall Sierra Nevada. As moisture-laden winds from the Pacific Ocean move eastward, they are forced to rise over these mountains, cooling and dropping their rain and snow on the western slopes. By the time the air descends into the valley, it is exceptionally dry and has warmed significantly through compression. This process wrings the atmosphere dry, leaving Death Valley with an average of less than 60 millimeters of rain per year and long periods with none at all. We return to Iran, to the north of the Lut Desert, to explore its sibling in aridity, the Dashti Kavir, or Great Salt Desert. This is a vast, desolate basin, characterized by sprawling salt flats, or kavirs, which are remnants of ancient salt lakes that evaporated millennia ago. The ground is covered in a crust of salt that cracks into spectacular polygonal patterns under the intense sun. It is a treacherous and inhospitable landscape where the salty marshlands can trap any unsuspecting traveler. Much like the Lut, the Dashti Kavir is enclosed by mountains, most notably the Alborz Range to the north, which blocks the flow of moist air from the Caspian Sea. The interior receives almost no precipitation, with some areas averaging only a few millimeters a year. What little rain or snow falls on the surrounding mountains either evaporates or flows into the basin, where it dissolves the surface salt and creates the dangerous marshes before quickly evaporating again under the relentless sun, leaving behind yet another layer of salt and ensuring the cycle of aridity continues. Spanning across Botswana, Namibia, and South Africa, the Kalahari is often described as a semi-desert or a thirstland rather than a true desert. Much of it is covered in vegetation from grasses to acacia trees, and it supports a surprising diversity of wildlife. However, within this vast basin lies a much drier core, particularly in the southwest, where the landscape transitions into something far more arid and forbidding. Here, the iconic red sands of the Kalahari dominate, and rainfall becomes a truly scarce and precious commodity. In these driest parts of the Kalahari, average annual rainfall can drop below 150 millimeters, and its arrival is highly erratic. The region is situated far from oceanic sources of moisture and is influenced by high-pressure systems that keep much of southern Africa dry. For long stretches, the sky remains cloudless, and the sun bakes the red earth. While it may not be as absolutely rainless as the Atacama, its driest zones experience prolonged droughts where the gift of rain is withheld for years on end, pushing its unique wildlife to the absolute limits of survival. We venture once more to the planet's southern pole, this time to its very heart, the Antarctic Plateau. Also known as the Polar Plateau, this is a colossal expanse of ice, at an average elevation of 3,000 meters. It is home to the South Pole itself and is, by a significant margin, the coldest place on Earth. Here the air is not only freezing but also exceptionally dry. It is the ultimate polar desert, a place where the concept of precipitation is almost meaningless. The extreme cold is the primary reason for the lack of precipitation. Cold air simply cannot hold significant amounts of moisture. Furthermore, the plateau's high elevation and its location at the center of a continent-sized high-pressure system mean the air is constantly sinking, warming slightly, and drying out further. While fine ice crystals known as diamond dust can form in the frigid air and fall to the ground, this is not considered true precipitation. The accumulation of ice here happens over geological timescales, with less than a few centimeters of snow equivalent falling each year, making it, in terms of precipitation, drier than the Sahara. Stretching across vast portions of northern China and southern Mongolia, the Gobi Desert is a land of dramatic contrasts. It is not a sea of sand like the Sahara, but rather a diverse landscape of bare rock, gravel plains, and sparse vegetation. It is a desert of extreme temperatures, with scorching summers and brutally cold winters. Its name, from the Mongolian word for waterless place, is a fitting description for this immense and arid region, shaped by the forces of a continental climate. The Gobi's dryness is a classic example of the rain shadow effect on a grand scale. The Himalayan plateau, the highest and most extensive upland in the world, acts as a colossal barrier, preventing any moisture from the Indian Ocean from reaching the desert. The prevailing westerly winds have already shed their moisture thousands of kilometers away over Europe and Central Asia. As a result, the Gobi is locked in a state of aridity, with annual rainfall being minimal and unreliable, particularly in its westernmost basins, which are some of the driest in Asia. Our final destination is perhaps the most surprising. We travel to northeastern Spain, to the Monegros Desert. While not a true desert in the climatic sense, it is one of the most arid and unique ecosystems in all of Europe. It is a semi-desert, a steppe-like landscape characterized by low hills, saline flats, and small seasonal saltwater lagoons. It is a place that feels strangely out of place on a continent known for its temperate green landscapes. The Monegros lies in a basin surrounded by mountains, which create a pronounced rain shadow effect, shielding it from the moist winds of both the Atlantic and the Mediterranean. This results in very low rainfall, high summer temperatures, and strong, persistent winds. While it does rain here, the amounts are meager and infrequent, creating conditions more akin to the steppes of Central Asia than to Western Europe. This has fostered a unique collection of flora and fauna, adapted to survive in Spain's forgotten rain-starved corner. Our journey across the planet's most parched landscapes has come to an end. From the sun-scorched sands of the Lut Desert to the frozen plains of the Antarctic Plateau, we have witnessed the extraordinary power of geography and atmosphere to create worlds within our world, places where the sky withholds its life-giving bounty. These are not barren wastelands but complex and fragile ecosystems, sculpted by forces other than water, holding scientific secrets and a stark, profound beauty. They are a humbling reminder of the sheer diversity of climates our Earth can host. To stand in a place where it has not rained in living memory is to fundamentally change one's perspective on water. We, who so often take rain for granted, complaining when it spoils our plans or celebrating when it breaks a heat wave, can scarcely imagine a life lived under a perpetually clear sky. These dry realms teach us that every drop of rain is a miracle, a crucial link in the chain of life that sustains the vibrant green parts of our world. They highlight the preciousness of the resource that we so often squander. So the next time you feel a raindrop on your skin, or watch a storm gather on the horizon, take a moment. Think of the Atacama, of the empty quarter, of the dry valleys. Reflect on the incredible fortune of living in a part of the world, blessed by clouds and cleansed by showers. Appreciate the profound and simple gift of rain, for it is this gift that allows our world and our lives to flourish.